Alright, so in video 2, let's start, I'm going to just start adding some more of the features for this. So first thing I want to do is just put in a checkbox. So right now, if you look at the top of your screen or icons, the slider tool, if you drop down, there's a checkbox. I'm going to click on the checkbox just somewhere on the page. Caption, I'm going to call this chord. And then I'm going to select the objects that I want to toggle on and off when I click on this checkbox. So I want the chord over here. I want this point here at the bottom, and then over here the translated chord and that point. I'll say apply, and then when I do that, if you gotta select the arrow tool, I can check on the chord or click on the chord box, and those two things should go away. So that's good. And now I want to add my my markings for the radius grid. So I want to sort of lay off the radius on this line down here. So first thing I want to do is turn on that line so I can see it. I think for me it's over here. It's line B. And now I just want to sort of essentially I want to just take this circle and match up this center point with this point here, and that would give me a way to measure where the radius would fall. So I'm going to do that using the circle tool. So I'll do circle, center, and radius. So the center that I want is down here, and then the radius that I want is just going to be the radius of the circle, which is connected to this slider. I'll just call it R. And then when I do that, I can go up to the intersection tool. So intersection tool, and I can just select the intersection. And at this point, make sure that you've intersected. So I sort of made my arc a little bit small. Make sure you're making that intersection between the circle and this line right now, at least. Alright, and then we should be able to do translate a vector now. Actually, I want this to be the grid, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put these vertical lines in. So I'm gonna do perpendicular line through J, and it's perpendicular to line B, it looks like on here. And then after I do that, I'm going to do translate by vector. I'm going to select this line, and then the vector that I want should be, oh no, I don't have that vector yet. Actually I can do this with a circle. Might be faster than creating the vector that I want. Actually no, let's do the vector. So I'm going to move over here to the segment tool, make a vector, and I'm just going to make the vector from the center of the circle over, and that gives me vector V. And just so that I don't forget what that is, I'm going to right click on it right away. Actually, I'm not going to right click on it because I've had problems with that. I'm going to double click on it and then say object properties, and then the name I'm going to change to radius, and let's see if it freaks out when it does that. It looks like it's okay. Yeah, I didn't use radius yet. I used R for the other one. So this is the radius. So now I want to translate by vector. So I translate this segment here, or this line here, by vector labeled radius. And I'm just going to keep doing that. So this segment and radius, and I don't know if I right click on this and turn the label off, if it will not label the next one for me. Yeah, that's helpful. So if you right away take the label off, I think it will not label the next set for you. So select that segment or that line, and then radius. Good. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 2 more of those. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's too many. That's all right. And now I've got that grid. I don't actually need this circle. I could have just done that vector first, but that's all right. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to hide that object. That looks good, and I need the very first line here, so I'm going to do one more perpendicular here to here. That looks good. I don't really need this horizontal line there. That looks good, and I'm going to turn this point J off. And then if you want to do the, right now you can do this so that the intersections pop up. So if I turn this all the way to almost 6, or just past 6, sorry, I can do these intersections, and then these intersections should pop up as the arc comes across. And then you can label these. So if you double click on it, go to Object Properties, I don't think it'll let you name it 1, but you can give it a caption of 1. And then when it says Show Label down here, you drag this down to Caption, and then close it, and it should show a 1. And then we just keep doing that. So Object Properties, Caption should be 2, Show Label, do Caption. So I'm going to pause and finish that in just a sec. Okay, so if you can pause and then finish labeling those 1 through 6. Let's check our radius or our arc. Now those numbers should pop up as we go, so that's good. I'm going to want to put a little animate button, so I'm going to right click on this, turn the animation on, and you just get a little button down here that says pause and play. The radius here, I don't really want that vector showing, so I'm going to show object, turn that off. I think I want to match the color of the arc, so I'm going to right click on this arc, and right now it's on the circle. It says select another object. I can click over to the arc, and then I can go to Object Properties, I can go to Color. I'm going to use this red. I'm also going to go to Style and turn that up to be just a little bit thicker. Makes it a little easier to see, and then right click on the arc down here. These two should match since they're the same thing. So this is segment. I'm going to go to the Object Properties, Color, change that to red, Style, change that to 3.5, and say OK. And that's good. So now I think I want to put the, I can turn the cord back on. Now I want to just get the vertical markings here. So I believe the way I did that before now is to just make a circle. So this is where I use that circle trick. So I'm going to do circle with center and radius because I don't have a vector that points straight up for the radius. So I'm going to select this endpoint, and the radius should be R. I'll say OK. And then I'm going to make the intersection here, and that should be the first one. And then I want to, I'm going to do a construction of a parallel line. Actually, I don't want to do that. I want to do a array here so it doesn't cover up. So I'm going to just translate this thing by a vector. So I'm going to translate Q by, and if you look over here on the left-hand side, a lot of stuff, but we've labeled under the vectors, we've labeled radius. So that should move that over to Q prime, and then I can use that to create an array. And now I can, I'm going to just define a radius here. That'll be giving me a vertical vector. So I'm going to do array, I'm going to do vector, and that's labeled V. And now I can select, I can translate by vector. I can say that line by V, and I think I want to hide these objects first. Let me try redoing that. Let's see if I hide. So show object, let's turn those off. And then I'm also going to turn this label off. And now, if I translate by vector, I can select. It still gives it to me, so that stinks. I'll have to clean that up in a minute. But now we can just repeat that process, however many you feel like you need. So I'll leave it as 3 for now. That's fine with me. And then I want to take these 3, maybe these 4, and let's reflect them. So I'm going to go back and see if I can find the line that sits here. Actually, I should be able to use this segment, so let's try that. So here, let's do a reflection about a line. Reflect about a line. And then it tells you to select the object and then the line. So I'm going to select this object here and then this line so it reflects it. And then do it again. And the last one. Alright, so now I don't need to see this circle, so I'm going to hide that. I don't need to see this vector. So line, I want another object, I want vector, and I'll say show object. And that looks good. And then, unfortunately, I think I'm going to need to just go through and hide all of these points. And I also need to put an array here between these two. That should stay. Let's check and make sure that, yeah, that looks okay. So there's our grid. And I'm going to hide the label on that one. And then I want to hide the label. Actually, I want to hide all these objects. And I don't know of an easier way to do this than doing them individually. You can also, it might be faster over here, to just click on these if they're all grouped together, which it looks like they are, so that's good. Alright. So I think that's good. I think I want to hide these labels on these in a minute here, but then I also want to put a hide show button to hide this grid. So I'm going to do a checkbox, drop it on the page somewhere, label this as grid, and then I'm just going to go through and select all these line segments, or these are lines, and then the rays that go the other direction. I'm going to say apply. I'm going to hit escape so I can click on this to check it. That looks good. I'm going to turn that back on just real quick before I forget, and right click and turn these labels off. And I think that's probably a good place to break, and I'll make another video. So thank you.